That's the most disrespectful thing you can do.
A Central Kentucky family is upset tonight. They say someone took down part of a roadside memorial they set up for a loved one.
Court records have revealed more details about the criminal past of a Lexington man police call a serial robber.
A WKYT investigation a year ago found some Kentucky coroners were not qualified for their jobs. But now we've found that some changes have been made since then.
WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
Good evening. Tonight, a major Woodford County road has been shut down because of a crash involving a tractor trailer and a pickup. 2 people had to be rushed to the hospital.
The crash happened late this afternoon on US 60 near the US 62 intersection Versailles. Our Monique Blair joins us now live from the scene with the breaking details. Monique?
Well, Amber and Sam, the US 60 bypass is closed right now between Frankfort Street and Midway Road. And Versailles police really want drivers to know that this section of roadway will be closed for several hours. Now, Versailles police are asking that if you are traveling from Lexington to Frankfort or Frankfort to Versailles by way of US 60, it's very important that you try and take an alternate route. Details are vague as to what happened, but I can tell you the JB Hunt semi-truck out here is on its side, and a tan pickup truck has significant damage. Police say both drivers of the 2 trucks were taken to a hospital, but right now their injuries are unknown. As far as how the accident happened, again, Versailles police say they are still trying to figure that out.
We're still trying to determine that right now. Through our investigation, we got the accident reconstruction team on site. We're trying to kind of take witness statements and evidence at the scene to kind of reconstruct the accident and to see exactly what did happen.
Now, again, because this accident happened right around rush hour, there is already a significant traffic backup, so police are really asking that you use an alternate route. Reporting live in Woodford County, Monique Blair, WKYT.
All right, Monique, thank you. Grieving family members of a teenager killed in a crash say they are furious tonight. They say someone took down part of a roadside memorial for him and 2 other victims.
Police say that 17-year-old Jacob Frick, 21-year-old Brianna Kaufman, and 21-year-old Matt Darlin all died in that crash last week at the intersection of Highway 33 and Faulkner Lane in Boyle County. Phil Pendleton talks to Frick's family members in our top story at 6.
Flowers and candles and now crosses mark the spot where 3 young people died in a fiery crash last week. Jacob Frick's family put up a Confederate flag as part of the memorial, but someone took it down.
That's the most disrespectful thing you can do. It's been 4 days. They wouldn't even let the family grieve.
They have since put up another flag and are moving the cross that holds it and an American flag. They say the warden of the nearby prison respectfully asked them to move it closer to the ditch line.
That rebel flag didn't mean race to him. He had pride in it. He lived for that flag.
They say Jacob was actually biracial himself.
I look at it as a heritage. Jacob's mixed. You know, it's never been a race thing. Whoever tried to make it a race thing is the one that's twisted in the head.
Family and friends say they have been staying at the crash site 24/7 in hopes of protecting their current memorial items. In Boyle County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
20-year-old Trevor Thompson was the only survivor of the crash. Police say a man on his way to work rescued him from the burning car.
Rounds of storms are moving across much of Kentucky tonight, and they're packed with some heavy rain. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey shows us what he is tracking right now on the Defender Radar Network.
Yeah, those clusters of thunderstorms packing a lot of lightning, a lot of heavy rain out there this afternoon. Not everyone getting in on the act. That's why we call them scattered storms. They'll be back with us again over the next couple of days before we ramp it up a little bit later this week. Defender Radar Network, thunderstorms moving out of northeastern Kentucky, going severe into Ohio. Central Kentucky watching a little weakening band of some thunderstorms that it's right on top of the region now, and it's trying to pulse back up as it works just to the south of the Salvisa area. Thunder and lightning here around the Perryville area, western parts of Boyle County. We'll see if that can hold together into Danville. Folks around Stanford, we've had some thunder and lightning. Mercer County, though, heavy rains over the past little bit. That's going to continue as that little thunderstorm complex drifts its way onto the north and northeast. A little broken band of some showers between Frankfort and Versailles. We can look at that live sky cam looking toward that western horizon and seeing the clouds that are threatening the Lexington area. We'll see if that can hold together. Northeastern Kentucky saying goodbye to those thunderstorms. Southeastern Kentucky saying hello to a brand new round that is kicking up. For folks watching us into Williamsburg, Corbin, London, over towards Somerset, Russell Springs, and Monticello, what we've had here for the better part of the day has been some very isolated stuff. But the trend as we go through the evening will be for those thunderstorms that are out there to begin to die off as the sun sets. When I come back in a few minutes, we will track additional rounds and an increasing heavy rain threat with the new hour by hour.
Now to a breaking international story we're tracking tonight. Investigators say at least 19 people have been killed in a knife attack in Japan. They say it happened at a facility for the disabled near Tokyo. At least 20 others were injured. Police say the suspect later turned himself in. We want you to keep checking WKYT.com and the WKYT News app for the updates. Tonight we are learning more about the criminal history of a man Lexington police say is a serial robber.
In the last week, police say they have connected Kelly Cox to robberies at 2 banks and a gas station in the city, and he's still on the run tonight. As Victor Puente tells us new at 6, these robberies happened after Cox was released on parole.
Kelly Cox was out on parole for robbing the bank behind me in 2010. Lexington police are searching for him because they say he robbed it again last week. This picture was taken at the Forked Bank on New Circle Road when it was robbed last Wednesday. Lexington police say it's 35-year-old Kelly Ellsworth Cox. This picture was taken at the Fifth Third Bank on Versailles Road when it was robbed Saturday morning. If that is Cox, it wouldn't be the first time he robbed that Forked Bank. This video is from 2011, taken after he crashed while running from police. He had robbed a Shell and the bank on the same day, then took off when police tried to stop him. He pleaded guilty to 2 counts of robbery, fleeing or evading, DUI, being a persistent felony offender, and 7 other charges. In 2011, he was sentenced to 12 years in prison. According to the Department of Corrections, he was released with supervision in June of 2015. Now Lexington police have 3 warrants with his name on them.
We just need to try to locate this subject because we feel like I said, he's getting desperate and brazen with his actions at this point, and we'd like to hurry and get him off the streets before he hits another location.
One of the crimes Cox entered a guilty plea to in 2011 was unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. According to court records, the van he crashed belonged to his mother, and he didn't have her permission to use it. In Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Police in Lexington say they believe Cox is in the Cardinal Valley area.
Tonight, police are still trying to track down an inmate they say walked away from a Lexington prison. The Kentucky Department of Corrections says 45-year-old Clyde Rader walked away from Blackburn Correctional Complex early this morning. He's serving a 64-year sentence for charges that include robbery and burglary. Investigators say Rader also walked away from Blackburn in 1996. People who live nearby say something needs to be done because of all these walkaways.
We get frustrated because many times these are repeat offenders, people who are put in the country club, as we call it, and who are there for a while, then they escape, then they're caught, then they're back and forth.
Police say Rader was wearing a white T-shirt and khakis when he walked away.
Last year, a WKYT investigation found that some coroners in this state were not qualified because they were not keeping up with yearly training. But after our story aired, the Kentucky Coroners Association got to work to change the laws. Investigative reporter Miranda Combs has this update.
If they get there before emergency services, they have the same rights and access as the general public does.
It's not a good sign to see even one of these, but a parking lot full?
In fact, they may be up on the scene, dropping their cameras and microphones and trying to render aid.
Ask anyone inside, and it is a good thing.
Treat the media like the enemy, and they're more likely to treat you the same way. Most reporters are not out to get you.
Some of them made the trip to this Moorhead classroom, though, because of this.
Our Department of Criminal Justice records show you haven't had training since 2005. Is that right? You don't remember going to it?
Last year, our investigations team uncovered coroners that were unqualified to do their jobs. There were 8 in Kentucky last year that weren't up to date with their required yearly training.
If they don't have their training, they should not be doing post-mortem examination.
No. We showed Henry County Coroner Jimmy Pollard our list of out-of-date coroners in 2015.
I'm dumbfounded.
By responding, it doesn't mean that you're...
A year has passed and a lot has changed.
I started last year and I continuing. I track the training from now on.
This is quite a change from when we first approached you last year when we showed you the list and you had no idea.
As you remember, when we talked last year, there was a couple of us looked at it and we were amazed that these people didn't have their training.
He says after our story aired, he and the Kentucky Coroners Association got to work.
We looked at developing some legislation that would mandate and has some teeth to it that would force these guys to get their training.
They couldn't penalize the coroners directly. They are elected officials, but they could address the deputy coroners. They wrote House Bill 434, which backs up the original law by saying if a deputy coroner doesn't get required yearly training, they're out.
The meat of the bill says if you don't get your training within your calendar year that you are required to do so, then at the end of that calendar year, January 1, you must resign your position as deputy coroner.
The law went into effect July 1. Attendance at classes like this one are up.
It has been effective. We owe it to the people. I mean, this is our job. This is what we're supposed to be doing, and to keep up and do a good job in death investigation, it takes training.
Now, the new law does say a deputy coroner that fails to get their yearly training and has to resign the position can be reinstated if they go back and do their initial 40-hour training, basically starting back at the beginning. The yearly update in service is just 18 hours. We did a quick check with the Department of Criminal Justice training on deputy coroners, and it looks like about 30% aren't up to date on their training for the year 2015.
And since the initial investigation in your story, you have been checking on the coroners as well to see how they're doing, right?
We checked on that list as well, and it looks like it's 3. Bath County, McLean, and Taylor County are now not up to date, but that's better than 8 when we reported last year, so moving in the right direction.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Marina, thank you. A University of Kentucky professor plans to use Twitter to help clear up some concerns about the Zika virus. That's next.
If you have questions about the Zika virus, you may want to turn to social media later this week.
UK entomology professor Grayson Brown is hosting a Twitter town hall Wednesday afternoon, and he's taking questions about Zika. He has more than 40 years of experience working with mosquitoes and their ability to spread disease.
For the people who are on the receiving end, it's very beneficial because they get precise answers to their specific questions.
You can take part in this Twitter town hall on WKYT.com.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
From steamy to stormy, and it's sometimes steamy and stormy. We're getting thunderstorms showing up across the entire area this afternoon. Heading into the early part of the evening, get used to it. It's a stormy setup that is back in the Bluegrass State. Defender Radar Network tracking those showers and some thunderstorms that are out there, and they've been packing quite the punch in terms of lightning and heavy rain. Starting now to watch this little complex of storms coming together again, mainly south of the Bluegrass Parkway, where you get into Harrodsburg. We're dealing with some of those showers and storms that are a little more prominent in terms of the heavy rain and the lightning that extends into western Boyle County, northern parts of Casey County, and heading into Stanford into Lincoln County. The strongest part of this is right on top of Harrodsburg. That'll continue to work its way toward the east. So Bryansville, you're watching us down into Lancaster. You're going to get another round of some showers and storms. Lexington, clouds are looking a little threatening to our west, but the northern edge of that is weakening just a little bit. Weakening band of showers to the northeast of us as well. How about southeastern Kentucky? Thunderstorms here over the past hour and change have ramped it up a little bit and trying to form back to the west, where it's been rather scattered. London, Corbin, Somerset toward Russell Springs. Hello, Lake Cumberland folks dealing with at least some distant rumbles of thunder. Not a whole lot right on top of the lake area for now. We have a front that has put the brakes on across the Ohio River, and that will continue over the next couple of days to give us some scattered thunderstorms. So tomorrow may play out a lot like what we had today. Doesn't mean the same thunderstorms will be in the same areas, just means we're going to see some scattered storms tomorrow afternoon. Upper 80s to maybe a 90 here or there, and then the thunderstorms come in and kind of knock the temperatures down a little bit. Tuesday, Wednesday, it's rinse and repeat. Both days very similar to what we have today. Thursday, though, we will really see the showers and the thunderstorms going up, and heavy rainfall by that time is a good bet. Let me show you what I mean by Thursday looking stormy. Hour-by-hour forecast. Remember, this updates every hour on the hour, so we're looking at it brand new, hot off the presses. Tomorrow morning, 70-ish. Tomorrow at noon, steaming it up, and then we storm it up. Scattered thunderstorms will take a little bit of the edge off the heat tomorrow afternoon, heading into the evening. But again, it's humid, it's tropical. You may not even know the difference. You step outside, the air is tough to breathe just simply because it is so darn humid. Wednesday forecast. You want to do it again? Let's get after it. Noontime, thunderstorms going up into the afternoon, knocking those numbers back down just a little bit. Now we watch Wednesday night into Thursday. Thunderstorms are going to increase, and as we go through the day, that stuff may become very widespread. And over the next week, snapshot in time of a computer model, but check out the numbers in terms of rainfall. Widespread 2, 3, and 4-inch amounts over the next week. That's the final week of July, and it is looking pretty stormy. Really watch that time frame from, let's say, late Wednesday night into Thursday and the first part of Friday. I would be, again, shocked if we go through this next week without talking about at least some flash flood issues again. We were close to getting in on some flash flooding today, with some areas picking up an inch or two in an hour.
Well, we go from one extreme to the other, don't we? Hello, August.
That's right, and that's how August is going to begin on a stormy note.
Thanks, Chris.
You bet.
And we have reached the 40-day mark out to UK football, Rob.
We will continue our countdown tonight, and Mark Stoops talks about a key position on his defense. And for 27 teams in 27 days, we go to Mercer County. The Titans would like to pick up where they left off. Sports is next. Mark Stoops eager to get his players on the field for fall workouts, and that is coming up a week from Friday. We are only 11 days away from fall practice. This morning on Kentucky Sports Radio, Stoops said the two key positions would be quarterback and outside linebacker. Now, defensive coordinator DJ Elliott will now coach the outside backers. Stoops believes that's a key move.
Coach Elliott, really, that's his expertise, and there was nobody I could go hire that knows what we want to do better than him. You know, the great success we had at Florida State, you know, had a lot to do with how we played at the end and outside linebacker. And he coached those guys. He knows exactly what we want. He moved the inside because he was the defense coordinator and needed to be connected with pass, run, the whole deal. We moved him back to outside linebacker. He knows how to train those guys. He knows how to coach them.
And counting down to the start of the season, we are now 40 days out. 40, the number worn by the great Sonny Collins, Avery Williamson, Randy Holloran wore it. The Cats scored 40 points in their season-opening win last season against Louisiana Lafayette. And Andre Woodson threw 40 touchdown passes in his career. For more of our countdown, just go to WKYT.com. 27 teams in 27 days rolls on as we take a look at the Mercer County Titans, who finished strong in 2015.
David Buchanan returned home to coach his alma mater in 2015, and the Titans proved that old adage true. It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
At first it was tough, coming off of 2-8. And then we're learning the new system, and then we start off 0-5, and then we're like, oh my gosh, are we in for another one like this?
Mercer County allowed 226 points in the first 5 weeks, only to gear it up and lock down opponents in the second half of the season, surrendering just 67 points.
I think our defense should be really good, because we ended the season, our defense was playing great, and I think we can build off that and just continue playing real good defense.
I think we can do it all, but if someone wants to try to line up and run the ball against us, they're going to have to try. I don't think it's going to work.
20 seniors return for the Titans this year, and you could see a repeat performance of 2015, minus the tough start.
The 2016 team expects to win.
And I think that you can attribute a lot of that to the 2015 team, and just they sort of fought through that and they turned the corner.
One key addition for Mercer County is Gunnar Gillis. The former Anderson County quarterback was steady for the Bearcats and brings experience and playmaking ability to the Titans.
Well, he torched us last year, so I know what he can give us.
I think if our offense and special teams ever catch up with our defense, I think we've got a chance to have a very good team.
For 27 teams in 27 days, I'm Brian Milam.
And thank you, Brian. Great series. 27 teams in 27 days as we count you down to the high school football season. Sam Amber, back to you.
Thank you, Rob. Final check of your First Alert forecast is next.
Then on the CBS Evening News, the fallout from an email scandal continues as the Democratic National Convention gets underway. The latest from Philadelphia. If you happen to see rain tonight, you might see a lot of it all at once, right?
Coming down at a good clip out there. Defender Radar Network south of Lexington. Heaviest rains. Pretty good little complex of thunderstorms into parts of Boyle County, northern sections of Casey County, heading into Lincoln County. That's right on top of the Harrodsburg area as well. You can pick up a quick inch or so with some of those heavier bursts of rain out there.
All right, the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelling coming your way from the Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia.
We will see you back here tonight at 11.